All right, so the adoption of national pension system by corporate employees accelerated for a second straight year in 2022-23 with 1,93,283 subscriptions in FY22. On the other hand, subscriber additions under central and state government components have declined. So what's driving subscriber additions in corporate NPS? What are the key factors that are playing out over here, and how should one really look at NPS as a retirement investment option? Let's discuss all of this with Anil Gilani, SVP, Head Passive Income, DSP Mutual Fund. Anil, good evening and welcome to the show. Over here, we are seeing interest from corporate India when it comes to investing in NPS. But then these figures are really the second time in a row we are seeing that it's going up. But how exactly do you think the awareness for NPS is actually spreading? First it being a retirement investment instrument just for government employees, and then extending it for private employees as well. And during the pandemic, we saw there was a boom of financial education, the need for financial education, I would say. And over there, NPS also played out a major role as becoming one of the most preferred investment horizons when it comes to your retirement. Now, when we look at NPS, what are the features you think that are most attractive about this entire product?
Super point, and you gave the very perfect background. In my view, there are three key things which make this product very useful and interesting. Point number one is the way in which the product ensures the longevity of your investment. So once you start allocating money during this entire wealth accumulation phase, of course, there are certain exigencies and emergencies which have been carved out where the money can be taken. End of the day, it's your money. But otherwise, there is a very strong encouragement to not take out that money from this pool and let it accumulate. So, for example, one cannot take a leverage by marking as a lien. One cannot just like that break it if there's a change of employer. So this is one very useful and important thing which ensures a long-term power of compounding for you. Second is that it gives you flexibility to select your asset allocation. Now, just think of it that without any tax implication, you can shift your asset allocation between equity, fixed income, like within that corporate bond, government bond, and also there are now options for alternative investments or AIFs. So that ensures a good mix of asset classes also in your long-term wealth accumulation. And the third is the returns profile. Now, NPS is a market-linked product. So unlike a government-administered rate which is declared at the periodic basis, here it is market-linked. So if we take the example of the current situation, let's say over the last 1 year, 3 years, let's say, we have got very good returns across, whether if you look at equities as an asset class, equity as an asset class over last 3 years has delivered about 25-27% returns. So likewise, the allocation into NPS equity also has given you that much number. Let's say fixed income, recently we have seen a decline in yield curve, which has given a good kicker and good returns in your corporate bonds and government bonds. So that has also given you good returns. So being market linked also has its benefit from long-term perspective. It has benefited the investor. So these, I would say, are the three key things which are the benefits of NPS.
Let's go down in details and let's discuss the kind of schemes which investors can actually opt in, and obviously the kind of risk profiling they have and the kind of time horizon they are willing to stay invested in this product. Usually it's recommended that if you really understand how the product works and also have a backgrounder of markets, it's good if you go for an active scheme. If you have to go for an active scheme or an active choice or an auto choice, what are the kind of schemes which are offered?
Yes, see, when we go for active choice, we have to take the decision of how much to allocate between equity, fixed income, alternatives. Now over there, let's say as an individual investor, you have to decide your own risk appetite, point number one, and your characteristic or your nature, how you can absorb the market volatility. So you can use any simple tools, like for example, there are many online tools available based on 8-10 simple questions. It can give you the profile, like what type of investor you are and what will be your absorption for market volatility. And based on that, then you can take an active choice that, okay, right now, let's say I'm a young professional, recently started doing my job and I am earning a steady income from, let's say, salary or my business income, and let's say I'm of age, let's say, for example, 30, then maybe I will go maximum into equity, which is permissible under NPS, that is 75%. And maybe I will choose not to reduce it for, let's say, next 15 years, and I'll retain 75% equity as a active choice. And maybe if I feel that, well, I'm not at all financially literate, I don't understand, and I won't be able to track, then I do have a choice to go for a auto allocation, whereby today it will start with certain number, let's say 75, 50, depending on the category I choose, whether aggressive, moderate, or conservative. And then automatically every year it will keep reducing my equity allocation and bring it down, let's say, to till the age I reach 55. If I have selected aggressive, it will come down to, let's say, for example, 15%, 10%, like that kind of equity allocation, and leave me over there. But NPS is, as I said, a unique proposition whereby it gives you the option that, okay, if I don't want to go with that auto path, I will make my active choice and have, let's say, equity at a high allocation, which is fully flexible and available to me based on my risk profile. So I strongly urge all the friends or investors with whom I am discussing informally that you should try to go for active choice, select your risk profiling, use any simple tool, and then take the call, give higher allocation to equities wherever you feel important, because from Indian market perspective, over long term, there is a high potential for equities as an asset class to deliver good returns.
Now, having said that, it's actually the investor's understanding of how they want to design their particular portfolio when it comes to NPS investment. But there's a confusion on Tier 1 and Tier 2 account. Tier 1 being a mandatory account that you have to open as and when you invest in NPS. Now, how to make the best possible use of Tier 2 account, and what's exactly the purpose of having a Tier 2 when you have a proper investment plan done into Tier 1 account?
See, your Tier 2 is given as an additional facility to use it as a checking account or a savings account where you can keep putting in money, taking out money, which in Tier 1 you're not allowed. So in Tier 1, it is for your long-term asset allocation, which will come to you only at the time of your retirement. Let's say you hit the age of 70. At that point of time, you will be able to take out some amount of it. Balance will be used for your annuity. Tier 2 can be used for what we can call as tactical allocation, putting in money, taking out whenever you want. So in simple terms, let's say very layman terms, if I compare it with a banking relationship, in a bank, let's say you are putting a RD, recurring deposit, you know that it will not be easily accessible on a daily
given to you in lump sum in tax free, and the rest 40% you will have to buy an annuity of that amount through which you can get a pension regularly. But having said that, it's important to know the kind of tax benefits also one gets while one is investing in NPS, that is your ATC, and then additional benefit of ATC CT that you can claim. And in total, if you are someone who's using the old tax regime and wants to have a tax saving option, you can include NPS. But then what you really need to keep in mind is not just to invest in NPS for your retirement. You can also have a strategy planned out in mutual funds for the goal of retirement. All right, so on that note, let's wind up this discussion on NPS. And